What's going on, guys? And today I'm going to be talking about the new expansion mode in NBA 2K17. Now, pretty recently, someone in 2K, I think it was Ronnie 2K, tweeted out that you can now do a league expansion in MyLEAGUE and MyGM and whatnot, those type of leagues. Basically, what he's saying is at any time, well, I'm pretty sure it's actually before you start, you can add another team to the NBA. The last time this happened was in 2004 with the Charlotte Bobcats. And basically what happens, at least what it seems like in the game, is it's pretty similar to real life, where you choose a team, you can make the team on your own, I'm pretty sure. So, for instance, you can make, I don't know, the Anaheim Huskies or something like that. Or you can do other things such as name them certain names that NBA has approved or NBA 2K has approved. So I have the full audio and audio tracks and whatnot. I think Anaheim Huskies would work, as both of those are used already in 2K, but maybe you can bring back the Seattle Supersonics or move a team to Las Vegas or to Kansas or whatever. Point being, you get to expand your team. Now, the thing is about this is many people don't know the true rules behind expansion, so today I'm going to be talking about the rules behind expansion. I think what's going to be in NBA 2K17 in terms of what's going to happen. So first things first, as I mentioned earlier, there has not been an expansion since 2004, and I think that there should be one pretty soon. I don't know the the last time previous. It might have been like in the mid 90s or 80s in terms of an expansion, but I feel like they were overdue, and Seattle definitely needs a team. And in my personal opinion, Seattle, Las Vegas, then a couple East Coast, maybe Virginia, Hartford, because I'm from Connecticut, you know, the little Connecticut bias, but stuff like that definitely needs more expansion teams. Not too many, but definitely Seattle first. Anyways, let's get started. So I'm looking basically at the rules that they set up for the Bobcats at the time in terms of them and the expansion. So the expansion draft, the date doesn't really matter. It basically has to be before the NBA draft. However, so what happens with the expansion draft is the team who is expanding, and in this case the Bobcats, they can select at least 14 players who are under contract or who are restricted free agents for the 2004-2005 season. So, bringing it to modern day, they're allowed to select 14 NBA players who are either under contract or restricted free agents. So this past summer, they could have selected Harrison Barnes, for instance, as he was a restricted free agent, or they could have selected, I don't know, DeMarcus Cousins, because he's still under contract. However, they're restricted to only one player per team, so they can't just gang up on one team that's in their conference. So say a weak team, the Nets, for instance, they can't just select all their players, all 14 players from their team, and just make them worthless. And now, because of this, there's also another rule to it. The Bobcats can only select unprotected players. Now, you might be wondering, what's an unprotected player? So each of the other 29 teams, which now be 30 teams, can protect a maximum of 8 players on a roster who are under contract or are restricted free agents at the conclusion of the season. So, bringing it to a modern day example, say you're the Boston Celtics, easy enough. You can choose to either restrict 0 or restrict up to 8 players, and this means that they cannot be selected in the draft. So maybe for them, they'll do that for Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, Marcus Smart, Amir Johnson was an unrestricted free agent. I'm not too sure, but basically you get the drift. You can get guys, and maybe for a restricted free agent for a team, maybe the Warriors are say, all right, we'll keep Harrison Barnes. Now, this doesn't mean that they have to re-sign them long term, but that expansion team cannot pick them in the expansion draft. So what happens is then, because each team will say, hey, whatever the team is expanding, you can choose from this list of players. And I mean, this is going to be a very, very long list, probably around 180 players modern day, maybe more, about. So anyways, they are, so this is what happens, but here's a nice little rule too. Each of the 29 teams now 30, must designate at least one player on his roster to be eligible for selection, even if the team does not have 8 players under contract. So, I don't know a team from this past season, I'm trying to think, that didn't have a lot of reoccurring players or players coming back. Maybe, I don't know, I'll use the Nets again, as they signed so many free agents. They have to say, alright, at least one guy is eligible for selection. And of course, you always choose probably one of the worst guys, the least valuable guys. is you don't want to give away a true star. So basically what happens is at the time of the expansion draft, there's all these players available. I don't know the exact number, as I said, maybe it's 180, but that's if everyone has full contracts. It'll probably be a little bit lower than that. So what they can do is they can go through all these players and select them, and those players will be automatically added to the team. And then here's an interesting rule that they put up. Any eligible restricted free agent selected by the Bobcats shall immediately become an unrestricted. So in that case where they select Harrison Barnes, he becomes unrestricted. So it's hard for the expansion team. The unrestricted free agents are not eligible to be protected, and they're eligible to be selected by the Bobcats. Blah, blah, blah. So there's tons of rules. You can look these up. But anyways, going off this. So this is what I think they'll put in 2K is, if they do an expansion team, of course you're going to be the one controlling it. Maybe if you add 2 or 3, and maybe you want to control a team like the Hornets or maybe the Suns, then what you'll do is they'll say, alright, select up to 8 guys you do not want to be selected, and they'll go through all the rules. I'm pretty sure they'll filter out the guys who you are not able to select because they're either unrestricted free agents or whatever other reasons, and then you select the 8, and then the process goes through. Maybe they'll show them selected in the players. But anyways, that's how it works. I know you might be wondering about the actual NBA draft, because this happens actually the day before the NBA draft. Now, in 2004, the last time this happened, the Charlotte Bobcats are automatically given the 4th overall pick. I do not know if it was based on odds. It says they were assigned the 4th selection in the draft and did not participate in the lottery. So I guess they did not truly have a chance to get the number 1 pick. I don't know if they're going to keep it at 4. Maybe they'll slide to 5 or up to 3. Basically what happens is whatever you're going to be given a pick. Most likely, I think 4 is the best option. And, it works out pretty well. You get the 4th pick in their draft. This year, for them, they end up selecting Sean Livingston, but they traded him for Emeka Okafor. The picks were swapped to get that, and that worked out pretty well for the Bobcats. But basically, that's what happens. It's in the draft. They give you a selection, and that's how it works. Alright, so now in terms of the expansion draft, it was pretty interesting. I didn't watch it. However, the thing about it is, the last one's actually 1995. Just to give you a heads up, you just basically select any team, any player from any team. So there really aren't that many great players that you select. So let's go through the list in terms of notable guys you might know. And it's really, really, really weak. Jason Kapono, Zaza Pachulia, Sasha Pavlovich, and that's and Gerald Wallace. Gerald Wallace is by far the best player ever selected in this draft. I think he was the best expansion player ever selected, as he wasn't that good for the Kings when he started off in the NBA. But that's what happens. That's the expansion draft. I don't really know in terms of how many rounds there are, who you can select. I think it's unlimited rounds in terms of as long as you get 1 player from each team. But yeah, that is the expansion draft. That's, I think, they'll bring into 2K. To give you a little heads up in terms of the mode this upcoming season, to revisit really quickly, teams protect the players. You select unprotected players. Boom, they're on your team. You get a high draft pick, and then you develop from there. I don't know all the salary cap logistics, and I really don't care too much about that. They might inform you a little bit about it, but anyways, that's how it goes. Anyways, guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you watched this video. Comment down below if you have any questions. Maybe I can help you out. Subscribe so you can see more of these videos, and I will definitely do some league expansions when 2K17 rolls around. And share with your friends or share online to help spread the knowledge. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching, and of course, have a good day.